Good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. I'm going to put this video out there for free. This is what I do for my members all the time, a daily recap. This is not been a good day in the market. It's not a pretty day in the market. And this market to me is signaling we have big problems and unclear what it is. We're going to go over it. First of all, here's the VIX. The VIX, this is gap down, was down huge coming into the 11 o'clock hour. And look at this move, almost took out the October um, 17th high. That is a big wake up candle back out of the Bollinger Bands we are, and this is signaling still risk off. Bonds, nothing going on there. They're not going to bonds because they're not sure what the Fed's going to do. Gold's not going on. And then we go to the indexes. We'll start with the S&P 500. This is a very, very ugly candle. You basically engulfed the last 4 days of action. We broke the range. We're at the 100-day, and we're right on this control candle. This 652.84 lines up with the October 10th lows, and this is a big spot. You want to hold this. You got a 5% pullback in this market. You want to hold this. If we cannot hold here, and you start looking to your left, right, saying, where can we go? This is where things get, start to get a little dicier. You lose here, you come down. All right, so we'll watch this next area. It looks like some support here around 646, 647. And then we'll look down here towards the breakout of 640. But, you know, you need to be careful here. Things have changed. The market has changed. Let's talk about today and let's understand what was going on. Things I told my members, and we talked about all this pre-market. First of all, we had a big gap up thanks to the NVIDIA earnings. And I will tell you this, I think the NVIDIA earnings were fabulous and there's nothing wrong there. Okay. Then we had this non-farm payroll number that was much better than expected. Unemployment was higher, but employment rates were down, wages were down. You got a pop and up we went. And on the SPY, we hung out here and I said, we need to make sure we hold, right? My worry today was we're going to sell. This first candle right here was a wake-up call. I was trading Tesla, got out, done with it, made money, had a nice trade, came back up, and then we stalled here and couldn't go, and we started to roll over. And somewhere in here, Fed Governor Cook spoke and basically talked about stock markets, corporate bonds, real estate, and a couple other things were just too hot and too out of control, and too hot and could lead to sharp market volatility. And that was all we needed to get this market selling. And down we came, got a dead cat bounce here, rolled back over, and here we are, new lows of the day, just breaking 652.84. All right. So we're, again, ugly candle. This is the type of candle that says, I want to be out of the markets. I don't know what's going to happen here. I have no short-term risk on. I sold my BMNR position, which I did not have big size, thankfully today. Took a loss. It was a moderate loss, and I moved on, right? Because I don't want anything to do with BMNR here. The rest of my stuff, I'm willing to hold. And I have plenty of cash, so I'm willing to wait, but I'm not buying here. And I didn't buy this morning, and I thought about it. I didn't buy because it didn't feel right. And here's where we're going to go into why things didn't feel right. NVIDIA this morning did not feel right to me before the open. And you say, well, Mike, how can you say that? You liked it. I loved it and I wanted to trade it. But here's your high of 198.60, and we couldn't budge. All morning long, we just sat here sideways, and I felt NVIDIA should have been much higher off that report, and it wasn't. Here's your opening 5-minute candle. We dumped. And again, this number, 196.10, I drew this before the open. That was my point of control. Look how well that number was drawn today, right? I come to trust my numbers. We couldn't take it. Should have been a short, if anything, and we rolled. 2 billion to buy on the close. That's probably short covering. And here we are all the way to the 100-day. I will tell you, this is one of the companies I'll be looking to buy when we turn. What else today? Walmart had a fabulous day. Look at this candle, still on the highs, just off the all-time high. They are the only retail company that's hitting it out of the park. Tesla tried to go, got rejected just about into that gap and pulled back, basically filled that gap, gave a nice trades. Google hit a new all-time high before pulling there. You get out of that, and there's carnage. Microsoft, new range lows, that 200-day down there gets interesting. Amazon, they've been dumping this forever. The 200-day there is interesting. Meta, 585. I really think this thing has the 650, 640 area built into it. Apple, believe it or not, is still holding in well. It's right on the 21-day. Yep, Costco held in fairly well today, still up. We talked about Google. Palantir got absolutely shellacked today, breaking down here. Watch this 150 area. Hood also getting shellacked here. Watch that 100 area. That'll be a big spot. Coin getting killed. We've had talk. BMNR, why did I dump it? Because there's talk out there that they have 3.5 billion, or that was hours ago, in unrecognized losses when they report tomorrow. At some point, if crypto doesn't bounce, they're going to have liquidity problems and could get called, and that could create all sorts of problems. BMNR, MSTR, these are different type of companies. They are holding companies, they're leveraged. IBIT, right? This is just a straight Bitcoin ETF. Don't get down, but it'll be fine at the end of the day. So, we got to be careful here. The banks today, which had been strong, roll back over. They couldn't hold, right? IWM, which was strong also early this morning, roll back over both the last couple of days. It's time to say, what do I want to do here? Get your shopping list. But for me, you're not selling into this, but you could be selling some calls against positions if you want. You could buy some puts as hedges. You got to see where we go. To me personally, I think until we get some big margin calls, we're going to go lower. If you ask me what's bothering this market, I think it's not buying that AI trade is alive and well, even though Nvidia is doing well. They don't know where that money's going to come from on names like OpenAI and Perplexity and what's the one with the A? Long day, tired, can't think of it. I think there's market is very worried about the consumer. Um, Anthropic, thank you. Uh, Can't worried about the consumer. I think the market is very concerned because Trump has led us up here that he might be losing his sway and he may not be able to get more stuff through the House and the Senate. There's a lot of little things going on here, and when you cannot point at one thing specifically, it makes it much harder to determine when there's going to be a bounce. That said, I'm comfortable with my long-term stuff I have on here. I have no short-term risk that is not already meaningless, and I'll see you in the morning. I hope you're all doing well. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Good night.